receive, which will direct you to the Supa mobile site. Click login. On the pop-up, click register now. Fill in the required details on the form, from your ID number all the way to your contact details. Be sure to choose a strong password that you will remember. After filling in your details, click submit. In a few minutes, you should receive an OTP if your details were entered correctly. Back onto the Supa mobile site, type in your OTP. In a few seconds, you will receive a welcome SMS confirming your new account. A 50 Rand sign-up bonus will reflect in your account within 24 hours of your sign-up. Welcome to our family. Supa bet with the biggest.
Are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150.
Hello and welcome to More Sports. Now, it is a Saturday. It is a day of footballing action, and it is a day when you look at your friend and you say, buddy, let's go enjoy some good football. Welcome to More Sports. My name is Mo, and joining me in studio, as usual, is our in-house sports analyst, Mr. OB.KNOWS himself. Now, if you're watching the show for the very first time and you happen not to have an open view decoder, you can join us either through Facebook or on YouTube. Just go on those platforms, search for Supa TV, and you will find our pages, and you can follow or subscribe depending on which platform you're on. Now, today's Mo Riddle is a very interesting one. Another test for those football lovers who love the English game and are very good. And I thought about it before we actually went with this Mo Riddle. We were about to go with Titus Bramble, because he's another defender who's got a lot of own goals. But here we go. It says, I held down the back line for the likes of Everton, Aston Villa, QPR, and Manchester City. I got 80 caps for Ireland and retired in 2015. In addition, I played 430 games in the Premier League, keeping 107 clean sheets and scoring 11 goals. Who am I? Now, if you know who this player is, save the following number. It's 071-621-4746. And once you save that number, just go on your WhatsApp and send us the answer. Quick, fast. And while you're on your phone, don't forget to SMS Supa TV to 30978. Mr. OB.KNOWS, how are you?
I'm good, thanks yourself, Mo.
I'm good.
Yeah.
What should we expect on today's show?
Well, we'll be talking about the PSL. Of course, it is the PSL playoffs, or the NFD playoffs, whichever you choose. But it is the playoffs, and we'll be talking a little bit about that. Also, Kaizer Chiefs are taking, they are playing in CAF competition later on tonight. We'll be talking about that before we talk about what's trending, what's making the headlines in the world of football. But let's kick it off with the PSL.
Welcome back to More Sports. Now we're talking about what's happening in the PSL, more specifically in the playoffs to get promoted to the PSL. Now, you at home, me in studio, we all have a problem with what's going on in South African football at this moment in time, because for some reason, the courts are not being respected. For another reason, a team is not taken to the pitch. For another reason, these playoffs are going to take place between Chippa United without Royal AM. OB.KNOWS, talk to me. What's happening? Richards Bay versus Chippa United is the game for today.
Yeah.
I looked at the calendar. There's 2 more games that have to take place on Monday and on Wednesday. Yeah. But those 2 games are against Royal AM. And Royal AM have not been showing up to games. They show up to the stadium sometimes. Yeah, they show up to the stadium. They look at you. They just watch you go on the pitch. They're like, no, let them go. But they don't play their football. What's going on?
It was 2 occasions now that Royal AM have not pitched on the field for either of the games. Yeah. So the first game, they were at the stadium. We did see visuals of them, taking out cooler boxes, getting ready for the game.
What was in the cooler boxes?
I don't know, but there was a point where, they even had igupu zamanzi. It was a vibe. You could see that now these guys are ready to play the game. I don't know why they did that. And then all of a sudden, everyone is leaving without the players stepping onto the field. So it was pretty interesting to see. And the second time, of course, they didn't pitch at all for the game against Richards Bay. So today is pretty much the final of the NFD or PSL playoffs.
Yeah.
So Chippa United will play against Richards Bay once again, and the winner, of course, of this game. I mean, the last game they played was a 2-1 win for Chippa United. So I guess the winner, if Richards Bay can win it by a goal margin and not concede a goal, I would assume that they would be on top of Chippa United on the playoff standings. But one thing about these playoff standings is that they have not been updated as yet, which begs another question. The same thing that happened the last time. I'm telling you, my boy.
So wait. The playoff standings that I saw, right? At this moment in time, Chippa United have 3 points.
Yeah.
Both Royal AM and Thingy don't have any points whatsoever. Those are the ones that I've seen. Are those the ones that are not updated?
It's not updated because Chippa United had their game against the first game for Royal AM was against Chippa United. That's the game where Royal AM pitched up but didn't go on the field.
And it was a walkover.
And it was a walkover. The referee started the game.
When you say it was not updated.
Yes, the log has not been updated. They haven't said
So,
2 games have been played and 6 points have been given to Chippa United. Nothing of that sort has happened. So it's raising another question.
So what you're saying basically to me and the people at home is that the walkovers have not been recognized.
They have not been recognized.
They have not been recognized this year. So there might be a new leaf here. There might be a new chapter.
Definitely. I'm worried about Sikukuni at this point because, of course, they are sitting currently at the top of the NFD table. But as it stands right now, it looks like the playoffs haven't taken place. I mean, yes, there was a game that kicked off between Richards Bay and Chippa United, and they did play. Again, they will play today. So it begs the question of what's going to happen with those fixtures that Royal AM didn't honor. Will the points be given to the teams? Or will, the playoffs start again? At this point, there are no conclusions. We can't make any conclusions, but I can say that it's really a mess right now as we speak in the offices of the PSL.
It's a really big mess because now I'm thinking about it. Remember what I said to you earlier on here on Mo Sports? I said to you that next season, I feel like fast forwarding to next season, I just want to see the first game for Sikukuni United in the PSL. I want to see which bus rolls up first. I really want to, because I feel like that's the plan. Like, let's not play the playoffs. We will rightfully go to all these Kukune games because they're our games. Maybe that's the chance. And maybe that's why they're so relaxed at this moment in time, because they're taking so much legal action. The Mabuza attorneys are involved as well. There's been 2 judgments from 2 different courts. It's a big situation, but let's go to the website. Don't forget to join us there. All you need to do is SMS Supa TV to 30978. Let's go see what OB.KNOWS is talking about when he's talking about the playoffs. Let's go see it. But on the bright side, for us making our bets, it's easier for us just to bet on the other team, not Royal AM. As you can see, Chippa United Richards Bay, that has played is 2-1 results. Then there's Royal AM. Let's see what the website has to say with that information mark. Maybe they're also saying it's a walkover, or they're saying the game has been postponed. Oh, postponed. Okay, let's go back. So they're saying the game, I think we have to hover on that eye so it can give us the text. Let's scroll down and see. Nothing.
Anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore. Let's go to the next one. So we have to click on them individually.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's click on the last one because cancelled. So that must be a walkover. It has to be a walkover. I think cancelled is jargon for walkover. I think it's a new word.
Because it was said that they're going to wait for the results to be taken to the arbitration to get
cancelled as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Cancelled as well. So there's 2 games for Royal M that have been cancelled, meaning that they've been walked over. So that one game on the 20th was the postponed game to the 22nd, and then the game on the 22nd was cancelled. The game on the 24th was cancelled, and the game is taking place today is against Richards Bay and Chippa United. The next game is supposed to be against Richards Bay and Royal AM. So that's going to be taking place on the 28th of this month. There's a lot of drama, but we have to put it away because there's bigger fish to fry. There's really bigger fish to fry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our bags, Mutwal away and go to the rest of Africa and see what's happening with Kaizer Chiefs. Are you excited about that one?
I am. I mean, it's been the talk. It's been the talk of the week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Right, let's go to the CAF Champions League and see what's happening there. Come back into this game after threatening Kaizer Chiefs very thoroughly, saying that, listen, you might have beaten us in the first leg, but you don't know us like that. You don't know us like that. We're hot, baby. We're hot. We got Happy Gordon Supa up in here. You don't know what you say. You know what I'm saying? This team over here was rested 10 players, sent players early to South Africa. They're within the chance. Like, why did Casablanca at this point? They like that song we used to grow up to. You know the Casablanca, the song when we were in high school. Dun 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 boom 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 boom. It was played in every text. It was like if you don't know Casablanca.
That's not Casablanca.
Yeah.
Did you say it properly?
It's Casablanca, halfway.
Yeah,
Because even Casablanca, you know what I'm saying? Where were you? That's the what. But all I'm saying is, why the Casablanca are coming into this game with all the threats, with all the reputation, in fact, at this point in time, they came into the first leg as the favorites. They're coming into the second leg as still favorites, but Kaizer Chiefs have the lead. So the question now remains, OB knows, do we still have faith in what the Kaizer Chiefs can put together, or do you want to go through what the coaches and the players have said so far?
I think let's go through what the coaches and the players have said so far, and then we'll get to talking about what I think about Kaizer Chiefs at this point. And let's start off with I almost said the Tunisia coach, but the Tunisian coach is currently at the helm of Wydad Casablanca. That's Fawzi Benzati, and he came out and he said that we dominated in all statistics. Now this is of course talking about the previous game. Corners, shots on goal, possessions of the ball. Kaizer Chiefs only realistically had three chances. We've always known that we are a better team playing away, right? We are a team that is known for playing forward. So tomorrow's game, we will play forward. We are going to try and dominate again. We are mentally and physically ready.
You know what actually shocks me?
Yeah.
I'm sure the Kaizer Chiefs sponsors have not made an advert out of this yet. Like, just quickly get like 10,000 people, put them in the stadium, put Kaizer Chiefs in front of them, and then show that as a country we'll be standing in front of those palace copets and like this, hoping that it doesn't go into the back of the net. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs, right now, I've been looking through the news articles, and one that actually touched my soul actually was the one where they said that Mr. Mutawung is just saying to Mr. Zwane that, can you please bring me this star? Bring me this star. Like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And thinking about this man's legacy, I mean, that's the only thing missing. I mean, he's done it all, played in Europe. I mean, went on to start a football club, won everything there is to win, had players like Jabo Pule and Junior Kaya just to add a little bit of spice. You know what I mean? This man he's had everything in his legacy. Yeah. The only thing he needs now is that star. And he's just saying to Zwane, like, I don't know what you have to do. Do we need to take you to Limpopo? Do you need a pass? Do you need a helicopter to go there real quick? Whatever you may need, we got you. But here's Mr. Zwane himself.
He says, he believes in his players. And he says, getting a goal away was very important for us. Coming to South Africa, they will be a different team in terms of approach because they will be chasing the game. But for our our players have been awesome this week, very committed and focused, and also showing lots of discipline. And that's something that we saw in that last game. Like defensively, they were disciplined. Although I did say countless of times that, Wydad could have scored in multiple of occasions. I mean, 28 shots is quite a lot of shots. Bruce Vuma was also in action throughout the game. So I think that, Wydad could have caused a lot more trouble for Kaizer Chiefs. But because of the resilience in defense that Chiefs had, it kind of also demotivated the Wydad players, towards the end of the game. I mean, they left the field very angry. They were disappointed in, the result. I mean, like the coach is saying, he's not making a mistake, or he's not wrong at all by saying that they dominated that game fully. They fully did dominate that game, and I think that will be the disappointing factor, that they had so much dominance but they couldn't get the win. And I'm pretty sure that Athazwane is listening to all these things that are coming out of Morocco, all these player bonuses that have been given to these players, all these things that are hyping up this game to towards the side of Wydad. And I think that Athazwane will be telling his players that, Look at them. They are trying. They're really trying their hardest to beat you guys. They're doing hard to beat you guys, but you guys can do it once again. Be resilient once again. Let's defend and let's catch them on the break. And I think that's pretty much what might just happen later on tonight.
You know what's very interesting about this whole situation? Someone was saying to me that, isn't it funny how this defensive resilience from Kaizer Chiefs, the last time we saw anything like this was when Stuart Baxter was at the helm. And right now we know that Stuart Baxter is on the touchlines. I mean, beyond the touchlines, he's on the stands. So the question now remains, is it Zwane's mental, is it Zwane's thoughts that are putting this thing together, or is he getting some divine intervention from somewhere, from Stuart Baxter? Maybe
tell him to play forward and back. I think
do you think that maybe that's something that's going down?
Look, to be honest, we have to give credit to Athazwane. I think, it counts a lot when you are on the sideline. I mean, the coach cannot be giving out instructions, every minute or every second of the game. So I do think Athazwane is playing a very crucial role. But since, Stuart Baxter joined the club, I think it has rejuvenated the players to the point where they believe that, they can actually bring back those glory days. Like we did say, this is pretty much the same crop of players that Baxter left at Chiefs. So they understand what Baxter's all about. So I don't think that Stuart Baxter has had zero influence on the squad. I do think that on the training ground, he's there helping out with Athazwane and giving him some tactical advice because he definitely needs it. I mean, he's an inexperienced coach. He has done so well thus far. So I do think that he's got a lot on his shoulders, and the help of Stuart Baxter is definitely there for him to, take him through.
Imagine the reality of having to face Chelsea come the end of the year. But let's move on and talk about one of the players from Wydad OB.KNOWS. Don't laugh. It's a reality. Let's talk about one of the players from Wydad OB.KNOWS. His name is Basit.
This is not a player actually. This is Abdul Basit. He is the official referee in charge
of the game. Even the referee is coming out of the competition.
Not in charge of the game, but in charge of VAR.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you in a second why this is a very important part of a conversation. He says the equipment arrived on Tuesday. The installation of the equipment has happened on Thursday, and on Friday they were doing tests. It will be ready for Saturday evening. They will link it to the broadcast vehicle so that they can get all the angles. I do believe the match will be broadcast on SABC, so those watching will have an opportunity.
He does believe. I love the way he says, I do believe. Like, you have to have faith for you to...
He did have to
He's
have
not
faith.
sure. He's not quite sure.
And I'll tell you why.
Tomorrow it might not even be a reality, but carry on.
Because definitely it seems like it might not be a reality. I mean, you did hear what he said. He said that those cameras will be linked to the vehicle, the broadcast vehicle. But now it came out yesterday that SABC will not be televising this game.
So I didn't get it.
So my question would obviously be, how's the VAR now going to work? Who's going to be broadcasting this game?
Yeah.
How are we going to make it happen?
Yeah.
And it does bring another part of incompetence into the South African football fraternity, and to be honest, it's very disappointing. It's really, really disappointing.
But let's move on and talk about Al Ahly and Esperance Tunis. Now, first we'll always have to talk about this man. Let's start with Pito Mosimane. What has he been saying to the people?
Pito, of course, he's replying to quite a lot of the fans and what the fans have been saying. I mean, the South African fans, I mean, more especially Kaizer Chiefs fans, Pito. So he's pretty much, talking about reaching the final. He says we will cross the bridge when we get there. We can't talk about the final. The biggest mistake for the coach is to talk about the final while they have a semi-final ahead of them. The return leg, of course, with a goal advantage for us. So, yeah, definitely Pito Mosimane is saying he's focused on the game that they have against Esperance Tunis. I mean, you looked at all the stats, and it's looking like Esperance, are on the back foot. I mean, they had the biggest chance of, getting at least a goal at home. But, they're not looking like a team that are going to trouble Al Ahly rather. And to say that, I'm saying it because of the form. I mean, they've been in terrible form in the past 6 games, and I think they've only picked up 1 win, if I'm not mistaken, in the past 6 games. So it's in the hands of Al Ahly at this point. They are the home team, and playing in Cairo, I do know that the Red Devils will be trying to impose themselves on Esperance.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation by traveling to Europe and seeing what's happening in Euro 2020.
You are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150.
You probably SMS Supa TV to 30. Eintlik, you can also score big by simply SMSing Supa TV to 30978.
You are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, if you're just joining us for the very first time in your life, this is Mo Sports. My name is Mo, and this is Mr. OB.KNOWS, our in-house sports analyst. And what we do on the show is talk all things football, including one of these interesting things called the Mo Riddle. Today's trivia is quite special. I mean, he is a defender. He played for the likes of QPR, Manchester City, to name a few. He made over 80 appearances for his national side, and he made quite a lot of clean sheets in the Premier League while he was playing there. If you know who he is, the number is 071-621-4746. And once you've saved that number on your phone, call on your WhatsApp and send us the answer. And don't forget, while you're also on your phone, SMS Supa TV to 30978. Have you ever heard of this thing called double up? Get double up, daddy. Shortcut to joining Super Bet. So make sure that you SMS Supa TV to 30978 so you can join us on superbet.co today. OB.KNOWS, it's time for us to talk about the one thing that everybody is watching at this moment. I feel like even non-football fans are watching this thing. We're talking about Euro 2020. And at this point, knockout phases are kicking off today. They got a good 2-day cool-off break. And now it's back to the action. And it looks like we're kicking off with Wales and Denmark. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to say, I see people on their Facebooks, they're posting that Denmark are going to beat Wales and then Italy is going to beat 3-0. They're saying it, like, I love the confidence of someone's like, Italy 3-0 against Austria. It's child, it's late. But I understand the confidence. This team didn't concede a goal in the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, Italy are a team to be reckoned with, my guy. I mean, I don't think that there's anyone in this competition at this point that is as defensively disciplined as Italy is. And over the years, it's obviously been the conversation about Italy. You know, they've been a very defensive league. They've had very defensive teams. And they, you know what I'm saying? And so at this point, I think Italy are at a position where they've got a brilliant coach who can easily, have a good attacking football, up his sleeve. And once they're defending, in fact, Italy don't even sit back. They are definitely going for the kill from the beginning of the game to the end, and they defend very well at the same time. So it's a very difficult team to play against.
So let's go look at the team he's talking about, the team that we call Italy. And one of the things that we wanted to see is how many players have actually played in this tournament for Italy. So let's go to it. Let's go see it, OB.KNOWS. Let's go to teams. Teams is where we're going. How about the mouse doesn't want a mouse?
Oh boy, the mouse doesn't want a mouse.
How does the mouse not want a mouse? We're going to Italy. Hey, Hungary though, they gave us a story, eh? Let's scroll down all the way to the team itself, the players. Now, all these players have kicked off for this team, and apparently this dates back to all the way when Mancini himself was playing in the Euros, and he actually went to a tournament and didn't actually get off the bench. So he then made it a thing that he's going to get all these players to kick off, even getting Sirigu off the bench to play just a minute in the Euro 2020s. But look at that, everybody besides Alex Meret, let's scroll down and see who else has not kicked off yet in the Euros. Everybody has played a game, whether it's from the bench, whether it's 1 minute or 10 minutes or whatever, but everybody has gotten a chance to play, including Mo Cristante, Mo Coutinho, Locatelli has been, what a beautiful player he's been this season, Bo, Verratti, Pelotti. Everyone here has been able to play, and the amazing thing about that, I mean, usually when a coach does this, you expect a slip up, you expect someone to drop the ball and they'll concede a goal or something, but these guys have kept it clean. They've scored all the goals, they've kept all the goals out. It's been a miraculous transformation for them. But let's put it away, let's talk about Denmark and Wales, because this is a game where now Denmark had a very tricky start to the tournament. Yeah. Wales, on the other hand, had a slower start to the tournament than expected. But both these teams go head to head, and what do you think of them so far?
Looking at Wales, I feel like the Wales team is a team that we pretty much underestimated because of the fact that they had to separate with Ryan Giggs, their coach, and of course it's a new coach at the helm. He's currently there for a temporary time. He's an interim coach, and I think Rob Page, should he continue with this team and continue to take them to the next stage. I mean, I think might be made the permanent coach. But Wales are a team that are playing against the Denmark side that is very, very good on the break. I mean, they're usually a team that would play with 4 at the back. But in this tournament, they've decided to go with the 3-4-3, meaning that they're also coming with that new football mentality of playing with the wing backs. And it worked out very well for them in their last game where they picked out 4 goals against Russia. So it's going to be a very, very tough game for both these teams. I mean, in the last game, actually, Wales also reverted to a back 3 when they're trying to handle Italy. But that didn't really work for them. But they just lost the game in a slight margin. So it's very hard to also say how they might start or who they might start. But I can assure you that there are some players to look out for both both these teams. And I think we can start with Denmark, because I am mentioning, that they play with the three men at the back, 4 men right in the front of them, and those wing backs are going to be a big problem. I mean, Mael, I can't really pronounce his name properly because the A and the E together, but it's Mael. He plays on the left-hand side, and he cuts in very well. And for a left wing back, I mean, for him to cut in, I mean, when you have a left wing back, you're expecting someone to cross the ball, but he cuts in very well. He managed to get the goal as well. I think it was even the winning goal, the last goal of the game that he scored. So I do think that Denmark have some very quality players they can depend on in that midfield. They've got Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, who can break down defenses very well, and I think
Thomas Delaney
and Thomas Delaney has been doing it very well for Borussia Dortmund. When he's not in that midfield, you can actually see that someone is missing in that position. So I do think that Denmark at this point, they look like a more threatening team. They've got more recognizable names at the top of world football. So I do think that they'll be one to reckon with in this game.
All right, let's also look at the players from Wales. I mean, the key players we have to mention, obviously, is those two elder statesmen. Yes, those two gentlemen who are the elder statesmen for this team. As you can see, we're talking about Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. Now, these two guys have been in the game for so long. So these are the players that we're talking about from the Danish perspective. These players are quite pivotal to what Denmark is putting together at this moment in time, with the absence of Christian Eriksen at this moment. But they've really come up to the fore. But looking at Wales, I mean, Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah.
Like, it's like so much experience, so many years in the world of football. This guy went from Tottenham to Real Madrid, back to Tottenham. The other guy went from Arsenal to Juventus. I mean, these are big names when you look at the context of global football. But moving on, let's talk about Italy again. OB knows. I just want to know, do you think that Italy have what it takes to go all the way?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
If they continue to defend the way they do, they continue to attack the way they do, I think they're a fierce team. They're a team to be reckoned with. At this point, they possibly are the team to beat. I mean, I had my hopes on France being, the most dominant side in this competition, but that's not looking likely. I mean, maybe it's because they were in the group of death. Maybe it was because of that. But I do think that
Hungary showed them flames.
It showed them flames, But Italy had a very great start to the campaign. I mean, them and England are the only two teams that haven't conceded a goal thus far this competition. So yeah, I do think that they are the team to beat. I think they can actually make it all the way.
But the difference between them and England is that Italy is finding it easier to score goals than England. I don't know what's going on with England, but they're missing. I was looking at this whole thing. I mean, can you believe out of the whole group stages, Harry Kane doesn't have a goal?
Yeah.
No assist also.
Sorry, he has one shot on target.
Only one shot on target.
And he got it in the third game, in the last game.
And it wasn't even a spectacular shot. He was like all the way there. And he just took a shot. All right, let's move on. When coming to Austria, are there any standout players for you? Any standout performers you want to mention?
Austria, of course. I think Marko Arnautovic remains, a big name in that team. He started the last game. It was a big concern for him. I mean, he was actually suspended apparently for the second game in the tournament. I wonder how, because in that first game he only had played like a few minutes in that first game, and then the second game he was suspended for that. He came back in the third game, started. So I do think that in this game he might just be someone that you can actually look at and try and focus on in terms of points of attack. And in terms of who else they have, I mean, they've got Florian Grilic, a player who picked up the man of the match in the last game. Not the same Grilic that everyone is talking about. That's Jack Grealish. I'm talking about Florian Grilic. Very good at deep number 10. That's how they've decided to use him, and I think he's very good at moving the ball around in the midfield and carrying the ball as well into the final third, something that he does brilliantly. So I'm not too worried though for Italy. I'm more worried about Austria trying to handle this Italian side, because it's going to be quite a lot for them to do in today's game.
It's going to definitely be quite a lot. But for now, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at some of the news that are breaking the headlines in world football. You don't want to miss this one because it might affect you as well.
You are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150. are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, if you're just joining us right now and you're wondering what we were talking about during the break, OB.KNOWS is saying that on pure talent, Neymar is better than Firmino. I'm saying that Firmino is flames.
Boy,
Have you guys go watch that game?
Whose videos were you seeing when you were 17? Were you seeing Bobby's videos?
No, Bobby was not that guy. He's not Paparella like that. All I'm saying is, did you see the almost assist for Neymar? Did you see it? Did you see that? Quickly. He wasn't even looking at Neymar. That boy, I feel like that boy plays a kind of football that you need to be mature to understand.
So you say that Neymar... so you're saying that Firmino is naturally gifted more than Neymar?
Okay. Let's put it like this. Who won the last recent Champions League title?
That doesn't make you a much natural
Welcome back to Mo Sports. My name is Mo and this is OB.KNOWS. And as you can see, all we do is talk football day in, day out. Welcome to the show. We are about to talk about what's been happening in world news. And as you can see, the topic is quite hot because we're talking about everything in world football. But for now, let's give you the Mo riddle and remind you that you can also send us your answers. Show us that you know the game just as well or even better than us. Well, there it is. You can read it for yourself. But the number where you need to submit your answer is 071 621 4746. Now, you go on your WhatsApp and you send us a message with your answer. And don't forget to include your name. We want to know who you are. And don't forget, while you're on your phone, SMS Supa TV to 30978. Let's continue the conversation now. Out of all the news and transfer talks in the world, I would never expect it. I would see the day when UEFA is like, we don't need this away goal. Like, how? Who is this that UEFA? It must be a new guy. It must be a new guy, like someone who came from the French Pro 14 and came and was like, no, why is there away calls now? This thing is not important.
New guy could be Wenger.
He's
the new guy.
What is he doing?
He's the new guy. Well, I'm not saying that he's the one who passed the judgment, but it has been confirmed that UEFA are abolishing the away goal rule. And
do they understand what the away goal rule is? The away goal rule is the underdog's medicine. You know what I mean? It's the underdog's last hope. Do you understand that if there's no away goal, we're not seeing Vienna in the semi-finals. We're not seeing like us, because a lot of small clubs they will get. Remember when Roma faced Barca and Barca handled them at home?
They would have went to penalties.
You know what I mean? They would have went to penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, the away goal, dude. The away goal is the reason why we watch this thing, because it's so important. It's so important.
It is. I try to think about it, and I was like, aggregate on its own.
It's not enough.
It's taking something away from the game, right?
It's not enough.
It really is taking something away
You
from the
understand?
game.
You understand that a lot of men will now miss out on explaining to their wives why Liverpool went through past Barcelona while the scores are the same. We're missing out on a big part of like what keeps marriages together. Like now you can't explain to your wife, no baby, it's Kazel. I want to manage it's 3-3. Lava Basha 2-1. You know what I mean? Like it just dilutes that, you know. So many families are gonna be in turmoil because
it's not couples therapy. This guy. But yeah, look, I do think that I think you know it's taking something away from the game. I mean, it was very special. Knowing that, you know, like now we're talking about CAF and we're talking about, you know, Kaizer Chiefs and how they could, you know, go through and or how they could be in trouble if they just concede 2 goals and lose 2-1, you know. Although it'll be 2-2, they'll still be out, you know. So I still think it takes something away from the game.
It
but
does.
Let's wait and see.
Penyenyes are boring, dog. No one needs Penyenyes in the build up to the final. Like we don't need to be watching Chelsea and PSG going to penalties. We don't need that unless if it's in the final.
Penalties are important, but without penalties,
no, penalties are heartbreaking.
But we don't have
no.
we don't have
Ronaldo.
Man United signing Van Gaal there for bringing on Tim Krul in the World Cup. Remember Netherlands, they changed goalkeeper in the last minute.
for the shootout.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
We won't have Van Gaal at Man United.
But that was a master move, that one. But let's move on. I mean, we'll be stuck on this topic the whole day.
Yeah.
One thing that Tottenham Hotspur does not have as a manager, they have everything. They have the Hurricanes, the Swans, but they don't have a manager. At this point in time, they've been linked with a couple of guys, but it looks like Nuno Espirito Santo is the man who's going to take up the job. What we know is, do we trust?
Do we trust? The question, big question, right?
I feel like Nuno is bigger than Tottenham. I mean, he got Wolves to Tottenham's level. I think he's bigger than Tottenham.
You know what I can tell you?
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that this guy was actually linked with Juventus. I did make mention that a couple of weeks ago that Tottenham Hotspur signed their first director of football since 2008, and that's Paolo Patrici, and he's coming from Juventus. So he was a big fan of Nuno Espirito Santo, and now
So
that
that's
he's
why.
at Tottenham Hotspurs, Nuno is getting the look again into coaching Tottenham Hotspur. So I don't think it would be a big problem.
Okay, I didn't know that at this point in time they don't have any direction at Tottenham Hotspur. I could feel it, but I wasn't sure that they don't have a sporting director. But now that I know, I understand why Nuno is going there. But let's move on and go to the next story. Patson Taka, did he sign for Leicester? Last time we checked, it was a rumor.
It was a rumor, but Mans came out actually yesterday on social media saying that it's true that I've actually signed for Leicester City. And, I did say that, he was linked with Liverpool, but my biggest concern was his age and for the fact that he's coming from such a lower ranked league in Austria, and he's coming to the biggest league in the world, and for him to play for pretty much one of the biggest teams in the world as well could be a lot of pressure for this 22-year-old. So why not start off at a team where you've got a host of younger players you can play with? James Maddison is in the Intangazako, people who you won't have a lot of expectations. Of course, 35 million is a lot of money as we're putting out there for a player. But for him, I do think that it's an opportunity for him to grow into the league. And if he does, of course, impress, it doesn't close the doors for him to join Liverpool once again. So I'm impressed with the move that he and his team made. And it is apparent that he has already done his medicals. So he's an official Leicester City player at this point.
All right, and then the next one is one that we've been talking about for the past decade. Sancho to Manchester United. It looks like Manchester United like players that left England. It's like once you leave England, if you're going to sign for Manchester United as a young player, hamba uzobuya. Basically, that's the concept with this team. So right now, they're still linked with this player, but apparently they're closer than ever to signing him.
Very, very close. That's
Maybe
what
they told him,
say.
they're like, if you want game time in England, you have to be an English player.
Possibly.
We can give you a contract, you play in the knockout phases.
Highly possibly. You might make it sound like a joke, but highly possibly. I feel like if this guy doesn't play tomorrow against Germany, some of the players that he knows, some of the players that he plays against week in and week out, and you don't play Jadon Sancho in that game, or you don't give him a minute in this competition, I think there was a pro for Man United to be like, Gareth,
Don't play
this guy. Don't play this guy. Let this guy's money go down, and we come in and take him. I mean, Dortmund said 100 million.
Now
right now it's
they're accepting
77.
90. It's 77.
77 now. This morning, I had a conversation with Karabo Pasha. He posted on his website about the deal with Jadon Sancho. And Sky Sports also, they did make mention that it's about 77 million that Man United could be looking at. And I want Sancho to go. I mean, I really do want Sancho to go because of the hype that's been around this player.
I want to see if he's really worth it.
We want to see it.
I think it's going to be another Pogba. But let's move on and talk about Hakimi likely joining PSG. Now, PSG, for those that don't know what the abbreviation stands for, it's Paris Saint-Germain. So who knows? Is Hakimi on his way out of Inter?
I'm glad that he's actually going to. Yeah, he definitely is out at Inter. There's no two way about it. He won't be wearing an Inter shirt by the beginning of the next season, and it's one of those things. I love Reece James, brilliant right wing back. I love Hakimi. I think he's the best right back in Africa, or African right back that we have. He's the best, and I would not like to see a Reece James tucked into a central, because Chelsea play with the five-man defense. So what I heard was that with the signing of Hakimi at Chelsea, they would want to take Reece James and bring him into a right centre back position. And I thought to myself, you've got like 7 centre backs, my guy. Why are you trying to bring in Hakimi and take down what makes Reece James a very special player? I mean, Reece James wants to compete with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He wants to be the best right back because I believe that he actually has the biggest chance of being the best right back England has ever had in a long time. So I was disappointed with Chelsea trying to bring in Hakimi because I felt like we can't have these two players sharing game
team,
time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that PSG actually came in because they did need a right back. They were using Baker or Baka in the right back position. He's actually a left-footed player. So right now, with the option of bringing in Hakimi, I think it's a brilliant proposal for Hakimi to join PSG. And on top of that, I didn't like the way that Real Madrid let him go. So if Real Madrid are also serious about him, or if he really loves Real Madrid the way he says he does, then it's a chance for him to prove himself at the biggest stage and possibly make his way back to the Bernabeu in a couple of years.
All right, another player on the move is the Wolves goalkeeper, Rui Patricio. I know OB knows is expecting me to say the Portuguese goalkeeper. Yes, he is Portuguese. He is Portugal's #1. And at this moment in time, he might be going to greener pastures because he's going to Roma.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho, another Portuguese man in there.
It's like you see your former coach. I coached him. Champions League now he has because of me. Come here.
So of course there was a lot of questions about like
Wait. Sorry, before I let you continue. Does he have the same agent as Mourinho?
What are the chances? Jorge Mendes.
It might be a situation where they're pulling another Ronaldo, Pepe, Carvalho.
Might be a situation.
It is a goal. No, it might be. We must first. Let's not talk too much about it. Let's find that one out, and then we'll definitely dive back into the conversation when we have all the facts, because it might be one of those situations again. This man is gonna that agent is so beautiful. He had Pepe, Carvalho, the coach, and the star player all on his books for Real Madrid at the same time. Like, he was earning so much from Real Madrid, you might have thought he's the star player.
Definitely.
Because
you could have said, yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure, like I'm saying, I'm not quite sure if he's the agent. And we'll come back and, talk about it. But I was saying that with the decision to bring Rui Patricio to Roma, it was a bit of a question mark, because Roma have a world-class goalkeeper in there, but Paul Lopez, a Spanish goalkeeper, and he seems like he'll be making way, for Rui Patricio. So he might be heading to Olympique Lyon, Marseille, and so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I can assure that this man might be just on his way to join Jose Mourinho in Italy.
All right, let's go check out Jack Grealish. At this moment in time, Jack Grealish to City is the hashtag that everybody's got on their lips. At this moment in time, Obi knows you didn't want Jack Grealish to go to Man City.
Okay, you have Foden, you have Sterling, you have
Bernardo
this
Silva,
guy, you have Fernand Torres.
Gundogan.
But not in the same position. But I'm just saying that it's a big one, eh? It would be a huge one for English football. I mean, Man United have been wanting this guy for a long time, a very, very long time. They've been saying, Jack Grealish. For him to go the opposite side, it strengthens Manchester City, first point. It does strengthen Manchester City. Manchester City are still possibly going to look for another defensive midfielder, because I did hear that Fernandinho won't be increasing they won't be increasing Fernandinho's contract. So they'll be looking for someone that can, work shift to shift with Rodri. So if Rodri's not there, they're gonna, get someone to play in that position. So I don't know if him coming in, and maybe if they don't, get a replacement for Fernandinho, would it mean that Gundogan will now be going back to that deeper role that he was playing, the past few seasons? Maybe that could be, Pep Guardiola's thinking. Add another attacking mind into his attack. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking right now, but I can assure you that the news are currently going around and they are on fire that Jack Grealish, by the end of Euro 2020, could be a Manchester City player.
I think Manchester City are trying to fix something that they've done wrong. What? At this moment in time, Manchester United have Maguire. That's their English star. That's our, that's our hurrah to English football. And then they have Henderson, at Liverpool, who is the captain, and he's the hurrah to the English game for Liverpool. And you look at Manchester City. At this point, it looks like the Manchester City saying, no, we are for English footballers. Yes, English footballers all the way, yes. Because at this moment in time, you're sending a player that you basically don't need.
Yeah.
You're gonna waste him. You're gonna waste him for real. I mean, how many English players? English players have Man City wasted in their ranks? I mean, they signed the likes of John Stones, and John Stones was coming up at Everton and was something special. They signed him. They wasted him. He's sitting there now. He didn't develop. He didn't become a better defender. He's just been sitting there, and he's actually been led to his price going down. Now, signing Jack Grealish for me is another one of those situations where you're just saying, hurrah to English football, we like English footballers. But it's not the Man City that had James Milner in the midfield, Gareth Barry in there as well. That legacy is now gone. They are a world-class team. They are a team of world-class names. They are a billionaire team. And at this point in time, they sign a lot of global talents. They don't sign English players, and they don't have the capacity to take an English player and make him that big. I mean, they have Phil Foden, which is a hurrah yet again to English football, with Sterling as well, who's another hurrah to English. But none of those players are captaining the team, and I think maybe they're trying to say, let's find a player that we can get an excuse to captain if he performs that well. But at this moment in time, I mean, look at them. It's just a global team.
Look, Manchester City, they don't need Grealish. They don't. But once they add him into this team, I mean, they are now having a much better attack line than Liverpool have, a better attack line than Man United have. So they literally will have the best team in England, and it's going to be very hard to stop them.
It's like that rich uncle of yours who has a Ford Ranger and a Mercedes X-Class for no reason. They both do the same thing. What are you doing with both of them? Rich people, they do things we don't understand. So that's the same thing with Manchester City. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the oldest players who have ever played the game.
You are watching Supa TV. Open View, channel 150.
How to register a new SuperBets account. SMS Super TV to 30978 and you will receive an SMS with a sign-up link. Click the link you receive, which will direct you to the SuperBets mobile site. Click Login. On the pop-up, click Register Now. Fill in the required details on the form, from your ID number all the way to your contact details. Be sure to choose a strong password that you will remember. After filling in your details, click Submit. In a few minutes, you should receive an OTP if your details were entered correctly. Back onto the SuperBets mobile site, type in your OTP. In a few seconds, you will receive a welcome SMS confirming your new account. A 50 Rand sign-up bonus will reflect in your account within 24 hours of your sign-up. Welcome to our family. SuperBets, bet with the biggest.
Supa winning ticket. Now ungapopa with SuperBets. Simply SMS Super TV to 30978 and start playing.
You are watching Supa TV. Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, we're all jubilant right now because world football is giving us all these things that make us so happy. I'm talking about from South America to Europe to Africa. There's action all over the place. Now, let's kick it off with the moral. Let's see if you know your football that well. Don't forget, the lines are not yet closed, so you can submit your answer by saving the following number. It's 071-621-4746. Once you've saved it, go on your WhatsApp and send us the answer to the Mo riddle. And that's the piece of trivia that is on the screen at this moment in time for you to indulge. So now let's go on, OB. Let's talk about the oldest players who have ever done it. You have a name for us?
Ezeldin Bahader, Guinness record holder.
World Guinness.
Yeah, World Guinness.
But it's provincial Guinness, I'm kidding. Yes, it's World Guinness.
It's a provincial Guinness. That's the man in between there with, okay, these are not his grandkids, but he has 6 grandkids. And that's the man in the middle there, Ezeldin Bahader. And Egyptian international, plays for a club in the 3rd tier of Egypt, and made his first appearance in 2020 before the lockdown restrictions were put
Wait,
on.
this is the oldest player to make a debut at the highest level of the game.
So this guy explains himself. He says that he realized that the oldest player was 54 years old, and that was the Japanese guy. You know what I'm saying? And after he saw that, he thought to himself, I can do this. Let me try work on it. And he worked on it, and he didn't tell anyone about what he wanted to do. He started just gymming alone. You know, there's even videos of him doing those ropes in the gym, doing those ropes and all of that. And it led to his family finding out. And once they found out, everyone supported him. Like, go for it. And a team by the name of October 6 took him in, and he made his debut. And believe it or not, on his debut, he scored a goal. So it's a big
How
chat.
old was he with his debut, Tovinos?
On his debut, he was 74 years old.
At debut?
At debut.
What level of the game was this? Was it like a...
3rd tier.
Okay.
3rd tier of Egyptian football, professional level football in Egypt. And he is now the oldest football player to ever set foot on a football pitch.
He's cheating.
How is he cheating? He just came back, you know, he just came out of like...
You can't even say he comes from development. I mean, he developed himself. He was 74. Then your grandfather just decides he's going to play Tiski again. Dude, calm down. Waiting for policies to claim he's going to play Tiski. The hell? Man, I'm thinking that this guy played football for like 60 years and he was passionate and then he went in. Yeah. You understand that he's giving people a hack now?
He is a civil engineer by profession. That's what he does, you know, professionally. He's a civil engineer.
What he did was not civil as well. I mean, you can't just come at that age. So, you understand that there's the kids out there that are not getting into teams that are struggling. They're just like, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to... A 74-year-old just showed you guys flames. Imagine somebody's grandfather just goes into the game at the age of 74 and plays. Imagine now the Japanese man who thinking that he is a record holder, then here comes his time.
74 years, now he has to play another 20 years.
Now he has to play another 20 years. Ah, boy. That's what I'm saying, cheating. After one game, he's the oldest man in the game.
Do you know how many seasons that man has had?
How many?
35. At the end of last season, he was signing a new contract to sign his 35th contract. So that's another
35 years of football, fit.
35
this
years.
Mdala will run around for a year, then he's one season now. One episode is the oldest. I won't lie, it's painful for me because I'm looking at it like I'm thinking that imagine what it took someone 35 years to put together. You did in one day. That's a lot. That's a lot. Though. That's a lot. I'd never be okay. I'd never forgive him. I'd be that guy on his Twitter every time when he posts something, happy morning, sort of happy morning.
happy morning. Just be sour the whole time. Took my record away from me.
Yeah, imagine now. Like, you remember those Papaya's Boondocks?
Yeah.
When they had like the grandpas fighting, it'll be like that. Let's go to the website real quick and see what bets we can make before we let you go on your way. Let's go to it. Let's go see.
Wow. Hey.
OB.KNOWS to the Euro 2020, please.
All right.
Let's go to tournament specials. We've done games. Let's see specials.
All right.
Hey, best player of the tournament, not ready.
You're not ready?
Yeah. Wait. Let's see elimination of Austria. Let's see it.
Definitely.
Round of 16.
They're out.
They're out there.
Let's see if we can maybe place another bet on the team going out.
Let's say Belgium semi-finals.
Belgium are going out in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, are you serious?
Yeah. Or runners up.
Okay,
Is even a market for runners up?
This is Belgium here.
Yeah, give me them semi-final thingy. Exit there.
Semi-final.
I'm telling you, boy. They're gonna face Germany. Germany's gonna show them flames. Go down.
Okay, let's do this one first. We did Croatia.
Oh, put in Italy there quickly.
What about Croatia?
Croatia are getting out now. Who are they facing?
Croatia are a team that are in serious situations right now. And it's the problem because I don't think they're going to make it past the round of 16, my guy. At this point. I don't think they're going to make it past the round of 16. What is it? Croatia.
I'm looking up Croatia. It's showing me maps.
All right, Austria. Austria, I think, are going out now.
Yeah, Austria are going out now. So Croatia, I don't think they'll make it any further. They're playing against Spain. But Spain is also volatile. Go to Italy, dude.
Wait, I've been placing bets, but they all disappear. So I guess I can only place one at a time.
Oh, you one at a time?
I guess.
Okay, fine. Go to Italy quickly. I just want to see something really. Give them runners up.
Who's gonna win it?
Give Italy's runners up, though.
So who's gonna win it?
Not them. I don't know, but not them. Give it to runner up there, and then go back. Go to England.
England.
Yeah, England is getting out this round.
Definitely.
Yeah, England is. Well, I mean, for the past how many years? I mean, it's been over 50 years. Germany has been showing them flames in the tournament. They can't just
the odds are pretty much on their side to actually
win.
Yeah.
And don't mind that. Go down. Portugal. Give them. Okay, let's let OB.KNOWS decide that one. Let's put the website away. Let's give you the answer to the Mo riddle. Today's answer to the Mo riddle is a very special one. Let's see the answer. Richard Tan.
Yeah.
You know why it's so special, OB.KNOWS?
Why?
This man holds the record for the most own goals in the Premier League. You know, I expected to see Titus Bramble in there. I know Titus Bramble. I see this man is sitting top of the list. Richard Tan, 10 own goals.
10.
He's the only one on 10. Everybody else is on 7. Jamie Carragher's on 7. Martin Skurt's on 7. Like, Phil J. Gielka's on 6. So, 10 own goals.
Quite a lot.
But
he played for Manchester City. He played for the real Manchester City, not this billionaire one.
They played for the real one?
The real one, with the bird there.
Yeah. But do you think Manchester City fans know that there was a logo before the shield?
The ship. Yeah, I think they do because there was that time when they were changing into the new owners. They had the bird, so I think some of them will remember.
All right, thank you for joining us today on Mo Sports. We'll see you again tomorrow from 1 to 2 p.m. here on channel 150 on your open view decoder. Supa TV powered by Supa Bets.
You are watching Supa TV, Open View, channel 150.
How am I supposed to know?
3. 1, 2, 3. What's the one in Pretoria?
It's Johannesburg, it's Pietermaritzburg, and Cape Town.
I know Pretoria, right, as a capital city. Since Tshwane or Johannesburg, you can count it as one, right? And Cape Town.
Pietermaritzburg for Pretoria. What's the other one? Cape Town.
Durban, Joburg.